If you walked onto a Wall Street trading floor in 1985, you would have been hit by a wall of noise. Men in expensive suits screaming into telephones. Phones slamming down, cigarette smoke, testosterone, adrenaline. It was a physical game. Traders believed they had a gut instinct. They believed they could look a CEO in the eye, or read a headline in the Wall Street Journal, and know if a stock was going to go up or down. They believed the market was a narrative, a story about human beings, but quietly, in a boring office building on Long Island. A chain-smoking mathematician named Jim Simons was building something that would destroy that narrative forever. Jim Simons was not a trader, he was a code breaker. During the Cold War, he worked for the NSA, cracking Soviet ciphers. He didn't care about earnings reports. He didn't care about who the CEO of General Electric was. He didn't even know how to read a balance sheet. He looked at the stock market, and he didn't see businesses. He saw noise. He believed that financial markets weren't driven by logic or fundamentals. He believed they were just a chaotic data set, full of hidden patterns, patterns so faint, so complex, and so fleeting that no human eye could ever see them. So, he did something that the smart money on Wall Street thought was insane. He fired the economists, he fired the Wall Street veterans, and he started hiring. But he didn't hire anyone with a finance degree. He hired astronomers. He hired physicists. He hired signal processing experts who had spent their lives listening to static from deep space. His logic was simple. If you can find a pattern in the radiation of a dying star, you can find a pattern in the price of wheat futures. They called the company Renaissance Technologies, and for the first few years, it didn't work. The machine kept losing money. The ghost patterns they found would disappear as soon as they bet on them. Simons was stressed. He was smoking 3 packs a day. The Wall Street guys laughed at him. They said you can't reduce the complexity of human fear and greed to an equation. But Simons had an alt logic. He realized that human traders, the guys screaming on the floor, were predictable, not individually, but in herds. Humans always overreact to bad news. They always sell too late. They always buy too high. They are biologically wired to make mistakes. Simons didn't try to predict the future. He didn't try to guess if Apple would invent a new phone. He simply built a machine that predicted the mistake. He looked for the tiny, split-second inefficiencies created by human emotion. A stock that was 1 penny too low for 3 seconds. A bond that was mispriced because of a rounding error in London. He didn't want to make $1 million on one big trade. He wanted to make $1 1 million times a day. And once the code clicked, the machine stopped losing, and it started printing. The returns were not just good, they were impossible. Warren Buffett, the greatest investor in history, averaged about 20% a year. George Soros, maybe 30% in his prime. Jim Simons' Medallion Fund averaged 66% a year for 30 years. If you had invested $1,000 with Jim Simons in 1988, today, you wouldn't be a millionaire. You would be a billionaire, but you couldn't invest. Because as soon as Simons realized what he had built, he kicked all the outside investors out. He returned their money, he closed the doors. The fund became a black box, a secret society of mathematicians printing money on Long Island, completely detached from the rest of the world. The success of the Medallion Fund forces us to ask a terrifying question. If a machine can beat the market by ignoring the news, ignoring the CEOs, and ignoring the fundamentals, then what is the market really? We are taught that the stock market is a mechanism for price discovery. We are told it allocates capital to the best companies. We are told it is the engine of capitalism. But Jim Simons proved that the market is actually just a collection of signal and noise. And the scariest part? The machine doesn't know why it is trading. The algorithms at Renaissance don't know what a car is. They don't know what oil is. They don't know that a war just started in the Middle East. All they see are numbers moving. If the correlation between the price of sunlight in Tokyo and the price of tea in London hits a certain statistical threshold, the machine buys. It doesn't ask why. It just asks, is it profitable? There is a famous story where a new employee at Renaissance went to Jim Simons and said, "Jim, the computer's buying huge amounts of wheat. We need to figure out why. Is there a drought? Is there a shortage?" And Simons replied, "I don't care. This is the ultimate alt logic. In the old world, knowledge was power. If you knew more about the company than the other guy, you won. In the new world, knowledge is a liability, because knowledge comes with bias. If you know about the drought, you might get scared. You might hesitate. The machine has no bias. It has no fear. It has no mortgage to pay. It has no ego." Jim Simons didn't just beat Wall Street. He made Wall Street irrelevant. Today, the screaming men on the trading floor are mostly gone. They have been replaced by silent server farms in New Jersey, connected by fiber optic cables that are measured in nanoseconds. The gut instinct is dead. The narrative is dead. So, what does this mean for you? The retail investor? The person trying to save for retirement? It means you are playing a game that was solved decades ago by people you will never meet, using math you will never understand. When you buy a stock on your phone, you aren't trading against another person. You're trading against the medallion. You are the noise that Jim Simons' machine is eating. The irony is tragic. We built the stock market to be the ultimate expression of human freedom and choice, a place where anyone could own a piece of the future. But in the end, we handed the keys to the mathematicians. We thought money was a social construct, something we created, something we controlled. Jim Simons proved that money is just physics. It follows laws, it has velocity, it has mass. And like gravity, it doesn't care if you understand it or not. It just pulls. Jim Simons passed away recently, but his machine is still running. Right now. While you listen to this, it is buying, it is selling, it is extracting wealth from the inefficiencies of human nature. And it will never, ever stop.
If this way of thinking makes sense to you, subscribe.